So you've wrapped up your rookie draft, and all you see now on Sleeper is that team page, and you're left aimlessly staring, thinking, well, now what? Here is a simple yet comprehensive Dynasty offseason guide, a list of do's and don'ts, so to speak. Do check for updates. Monitor Twitter, X, wherever you get your social media. Get a pulse of what's going on. At least have the awareness. Don't be blind to it. The accounts I love that are sourced information that actually keep you up to date, Coach Speak Index, and then 32 beat writers. Really good sources for fantasy, really dynasty calculus in this offseason. Calculus that maybe you don't do anything at all, but you at least are learning about certain players. You're hearing what coaches have to say about certain players and their potential plans for their roles. You monitor, you check, you're at least aware of this. And you ultimately look at your team and you ask yourself, for example, well, what is Robert Woods doing taking up a bench spot when I could instead take an upside shot on a Blake Watson, a guy who Sean Payton has already compared to Alvin Kamara. He said, I don't want to compare, but here we go. Shoot. He's Alvin Kamara, this Joker type role. He's competing with Jaleel McLaughlin in that Broncos backfield. Is he going to be this end-all be-all, this incredible fantasy dominant player? No, that's not what I'm saying. But in this stage in the offseason, all you can do is to take a shot, take a stab on some guys that have routes to potential opportunity. Last year, before week 1, talking about a guy named Puka Nacua. And even if you were a little bit late to the party with Puka, if you had only stayed up to date, followed what a Coach Speak Index 32 beat writers is saying, just to have awareness and not instead stash a player on your team that is that clogger where there's really no upside. We know what they are. And there's really no narrative to relevancy to at least in your league holding any weight in potential trades. That is something that goes underlooked in this time of year. With these rookies, brand new, unknown, the boat versus the mystery box. The mystery box, in a way, especially on the margins, holds value. And so you take a chance. And even if it's just an early one-off game in the preseason in week 1 or week 2, it's a potential sell window for you to get a potential pick next year. A player that could actually be somewhat of note to your team. The theme of this time, this offseason period in Dynasty, it's information gathering. That's all you can do, and that's all you need to really be doing, is monitoring the pulse, team-specific, reporter, player, coach-related news by virtue of just a handful of accounts that do the work effectively for you. Conversely, do not overreact to particular reports in setting expectations at this time of year, especially the ones that come from unsourced information, where you see copy pasta every other day from the exact same account. This receiver is looking dangerous. Routes against air in a mini camp clip. They have potentially the best receiver core in the NFL. Not everybody can have the same receiver core, okay? But oh my gosh, many scouts are saying this or that. Who? Many are saying the next Debo 2.0. What are we doing? If many believe that he is Debo 2.0, that player would have gone in the top 10 next to a Rome Odunze, for example. Not 2 rounds later. The Rams have asked Blake Corum to develop a 3-down skill set? Guess what? I have asked Ana de Armas to develop my phone number in her contact list. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. Okay? Just have a level head, a head that is concentrated on what's going on. Can't be oblivious. You can't just take time off in this offseason. You have to be aware. You build awareness. Try to find the next needle in a haystack. Do canvass your league. Get a pulse for what they are feeling. If they're overreacting to those same viral tweets, posts, reports on Twitter, analyze if they feel a certain way now about a player that they have, if it's a potential buy low opportunity for you, or maybe even a sell high opportunity. See if people are drinking too much Twitter Kool-Aid, too much hopium, too much unfounded random summer tweets when we have months and months till football is being played again. Your due diligence, your awareness, see if other people are going a step too far. As you're canvassing, don't even feel the need to go as far as to even sending a trade offer. At least just get an idea of if they're potentially open to selling a certain player. What a potential trade package might take for player X and player Y. Do not send a trade out of boredom just to trade. Ask yourself, what am I doing? What is the goal with this particular move? Get a rapport, get a message conversation going. Get your fix that way, if that makes sense. Do not go as far as to sending a crazy trade that all of a sudden is on a whim that you never really expected or anticipated just because you want something for the sake of it. That is the last thing you need to be doing. Getting a pulse, but not going crazy. Do start taking a look at next year's 2025 rookie class. If you need a fix, so to speak, in Dynasty terms, we're just wrapping up our rookie drafts for the 2024 class. Get a feel, at least a high-level 180-foot view, perspective about what are the strengths of this 2025 draft class. At this point in time, spoiler, if you haven't watched my previous video ranking early top 12, we're talking about a 2025 draft class that is not as stacked at quarterback, nowhere near, where there's no guys that have really emerged in their draft year, before their draft year actually, as bona fide number one overall pick types like a Caleb, like a Drake May. Running back though, night and day, a lot of talented players there. Going to be a really good year for you if you need it in 2025. Receivers, there's a couple really good ones that could go very high. And then tight ends as well, looking like a strong class somewhere in between 2 years ago and this past year's class. Assess what you might be able to pick up in that first round of your 2025 rookie class, how it affects your current construction needs, everything in between, but not going as far as to overhaul your team, make moves now. I'm betting on player X to be my new RB1. Don't do that. Do not overreact in that sense. But nonetheless, you build awareness for who could very well have trajectories. Maybe a Will Howard or a Riley Leonard at Ohio State, at Notre Dame, has an incredible trajectory, Heisman-esque years, lead them to success in the college football playoff, and then all of a sudden, maybe guys that crack into your first round. Let's say you really don't follow the draft until we're pretty much past the NFL year in that calendar, 2025, January through April. In this ultimate informational gathering period of the Dynasty cycle, this offseason, this summer in particular, is as unique a one as we've ever seen in the last decade because of the release of NCAA 25. We've waited so long, and we're going to have so much fun playing it and enjoying it. Do just that. Enjoy it. Don't let it cloud your judgment. Don't overreact to it. Form opinions, biases, the self-narratives of these particular players that guide you throughout this upcoming year and into the offseason cycle, the draft cycle of 2025. When you lead Liberty to a natty and Caden Salter throws for 5K yards, 55 touchdowns through the air, don't allow that to overdraft him in your 2025 rookie draft. Similarly, in the Power 5, in your Big 10, when you've got your South Iowa defense and you want to actually be the guy that gets them being a semi-competent offense, don't let Luke Lachey's Heisman-esque year for 2K yards, 20 touchdowns, let you overdraft him as a tight end in your mid-first of your rookie drafts. Have fun, but ultimately keep yourself in check with players in a video game at the college level, and then jog in your memory, come the 108, come the 207, come the 303. Don't just go for your guy, so to speak. That's a general philosophy that, you got to walk away with your particular player. If it's in a tier, that's one thing, but if we're talking multiple tiers of separation and you just got to get him for the sake of it, that's a don't that you can just avoid at this point in time by preparing yourself, but not going a step too far. And so that's really the theme, guys. Prepare, do your due diligence, but don't overstep, don't go too far. This is an informational gathering period whereby following some noise, baiting others, and just bearing in mind your fundamental team construction, if you're contending, if you're rebuilding, if you're somewhere in between there, and asking yourself questions about who's worthy of a roster spot on my team, who isn't, what moves could I potentially look to make with another team via potential trade, but not even going as far, just trying to get a general gauge, a pulse of what they're feeling like, and projecting out the next crop of rookies for the 2025 draft class, building up awareness, an idea of who is going to be available, what type profiles of players, but don't obsess over the 89 overall on your road to glory in NCAA 25 being that 89 overall type producer for your Dynasty team in 2025. Let me know in the comments your guys' general philosophy, your do's and don'ts for this offseason, this very fun time, albeit a little bit quieter, but at the end of the day, is it really? Because we're psychos even playing this game of Dynasty Fantasy Football and even watching this video. So if you enjoyed, like, subscribe. If you're feeling frisky, if you're feeling crazy, let me know what I need to do better to earn that. I will see you guys in the next one. Have a great one.